Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Me and Shigz finally have a nice stream lined up
Ah,
for you guys.
finally.
Finally, there's no more depressing streams, no more slandering players, no more debates about who's good enough or who's not good enough. Shigz, last time we spoke, mate, we were absolutely fuming that we missed out on the second best midfielder in the world because Trent Alexander-Arnold is now the best. How you doing, mate?
I am very well. Thanks for having me on again as usual. But I'm very well, man. That was a pleasant surprise. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just wanted to see a good performance, and thankfully we got that. There was a wobbly moment when Canate, but we'll get into that. But apart from that, um, you know what I liked the most? We grew into the game and we kept the ball. And normally, when after about 20 minutes or so, if there's still 0-0, I'm starting to get worried because that one breakaway attack and the other team normally scores like a la Bournemouth, but Leeds are pants, so we didn't have to we didn't have to worry too much about that. But Canate tried to give them a helping hand, and they still couldn't do anything. So but it was an enjoyable evening. I was hoping because obviously over the weekend Liverpool didn't play, and you saw these other teams, Chelsea fumble the bag and all that. So I was just hoping Liverpool didn't throw a spanner in the works and make the rest of my weekend poor. But no, they did. They got to give.
Yeah.
There's someone I got to give praise to a little later on, and I can't believe I'm doing it, but it has to be done.
I know exactly who it is, and we'll get into that, mate. I know exactly who that is, and you know what? Fair play to you because a lot of people haven't, and I think that is where there's an issue. But we'll get into Curtis Jones in a bit. We'll start from the beginning, mate. First of all, if you guys are in here, smash a like and drop a comment to let us know you're here. Like Ali has, big up, mate. Big up Ben and Shigz. What a win! I know it is Leeds, but I don't care. We've been in the mud, so I don't care. Listen. Don't let anybody tell you it's only Leeds. We lost to Leeds at home. Don't let anybody say it's only Leeds. It's only this team. When we win games, when we play like that, let's enjoy it. Let's be happy. Let's not worry about who it's against. I like Klopp tweaking stuff, but we should have played Trent in midfield earlier in the season. We'll get into Trent. We'll discuss the whole new Trent role in just a bit. But Shigz, I'm going to go back to the start, mate. This was the lineup. And again, the lineup gets announced about an hour and 20 minutes before the game. There's inevitable people moaning because of the midfield. Nunes wasn't starting.
No.
Where was your head at, mate, when you saw this team?
I weren't disappointed with that lineup at all. And even though I'm not Curtis Jones' big fan, and you can attest to this, the one thing I've said that is a problem that he hasn't had a run of games. He hasn't had a run of games to get into the team, and like we haven't got anything to play for now. I know obviously we're still trying to get for the top four, but he's got nothing to lose. Let him play. That's the team that they should start again. I don't know who our next game is, but that's the team that they should start next game. Who is it? Wolves.
Forest on Saturday.
Definitely. That's the team we start with. Because now they've got confidence, and they've got two. Yeah. They've got. This, I believe, is this the first time we've been able to field it? No, I think there's been a couple of other times this season where we've been able to field the same team consecutively.
Possibly. I'm not seeing that. I'm not looked into that.
Yeah, no. I to go back to the question, I wasn't disappointed in the starting lineup. Obviously, I want to see Diaz and Nunes and stuff like that. But this team, second half, they came out and they played. So why should they lose? And why should any of them lose their spot?
No, I agree completely, mate. Obviously, I think people were looking at Curtis Jones, and we'll get on to him in a bit. I think Thiago might come in, but listen, Curtis Jones has done more than enough for me to keep his place on Saturday.
Yeah.
We've all said, haven't we, this season that we need players to come in and fight for their spot. And when, players are given a chance, like the younger ones, if they come in like Stefan Bajcetic did and stamp a claim for that starting spot, if the other guys aren't pulling their weight, which didn't happen yesterday, we need to make that clear. Everybody played, apart from the one moment, which we'll get on to. But if there are players that aren't pulling their weight and a younger player comes in and does well, then why not? And, what we've seen from Curtis Jones yesterday and against Arsenal, I think I don't think our opinions have changed as such as, we're not saying, now we don't need a midfielder or now, he's an answer. But nobody's saying that. Nobody is sitting here saying that, we only need one midfielder now. The situation's still the same. But what I think myself and what a few other people have said is when, people spend too much time on Twitter, slagging him off, saying how much they don't like him. It's borderline hate, to be honest. And when he plays well, you have got to just swallow that
well done. Well
pie
done.
and give him some credit. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. What happened to Ox, though? He would work well in that RCM.
Ox has had his chance and he hasn't taken it. Simple as that.
And I also think his head's just elsewhere.
The Arsenal game when we equalised, he didn't even get up and celebrate. So that guy's out the door.
When a player knows they're leaving, I think I would much rather play someone like Curtis Jones. He's better than Ox anyway in 2023. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But let's get on to it then, Shigz. I mean, the first 30 minutes, mate, I don't know about you, but I was just like, here we go again. 70% of the ball, sideways passing, not really a creative spark. Diogo Jota, I mean, I know we had Easter the other day, mate, and Jesus resurrected, but that second half compared to that first, well, to be fair, he got the assist in the first half, but that was like a complete
but even though he got the assist, he was all,
the first half an hour, mate. I just thought there's gonna be one goal in this game max. How wrong was I?
Yeah, well, both. To be honest with you, I tweeted out, how many times is this guy gonna lose the ball? Like, I'm tired of that. It seemed like every time the ball got to him, the wheel would just break down. And then it's even though Trent did come in the midfield in the first half, the passing was still a bit slow, a bit ponderous. But I was happy that they didn't really. But the problem is that I'm going all over the place. But the problem is Leeds are not that great. So when they were countering, it was just fizzling out. So while I'm happy that we did what we did in the first half, keeping the ball and stuff, it was only towards the latter end of the first half. Well, I say like half an hour in that our passing started to get a lot quicker. Or was that just me? I don't know.
Yeah, from 30 minutes, mate. Really. I'm not entirely sure what minute the first goal came in, but it was around that, wasn't it? 30, 35.
Yeah.
That was for me.
We just started to quicken everything up.
Yeah, and it was Trent losing the ball. Just get on to the first goal, mate. Trent lost the ball in midfield. He wins it back with a legitimate control of the ball, by the way. And absolutely nothing suspicious.
Is that what we're doing, man?
Look, okay, he handballed it, right?
That's a handball.
Listen, the rule book clearly says if it's that far back, they can't do anything, and they won't do anything. So
let me ask you this then, just quickly. Then, if that had been given against us, would you have been pissed?
Oh, I'd be fuming. Fuming. But because it's Trent and that's my guy, as you know, we've been debating for weeks now. Trent, I've been sticking up for Trent for the longest, bro. And look, if we just forget about the assist for a minute, if we go back to the way he lost the ball, bit of a silly pass.
But he was trying to play a through ball though, so I'm not even mad at that. The
determination for him to win the ball back in the first place was amazing to start off with. And then the 1-2 with Salah was brilliant. And then the ball to Gakpo, that is exactly where we need Trent to be. That's exactly his strengths. That's exactly what we haven't been seeing for the last few weeks, months. And we'll touch on Trent a bit later on. But what I will say about Trent in the last two games, the confidence that he's showing reminds me of the confidence he had when he first came in, because he's just playing more freedom now, not under as much pressure defensively, and I think that will only be a good thing for us and Trent. I really do. I think we saw it, and I don't want to go on about him too much because it was Gakpo's goal. Gakpo, right place, right time. He couldn't really miss, but it was just a brilliantly worked goal. Salah as well, playing the 1-2 with Trent. I was just absolutely buzzing when that went in, mate. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, I was happy. I thought I was worried that they would pull it back for the handball, but they didn't, and I was just happy that we had taken the lead, and we were deservedly so, because we were we had done everything that you'd want us to do apart from trouble Meunier, but apart from that, I wasn't too annoyed with anything. There was a couple of times where Leeds had forged forward, but they were few and far between. So to be honest with you, like it was a weird game because at no point was even when it was 0-0, I weren't worried that they do something. I just felt like it might be a bit of a slog on our part because it might take us a little bit of a while to score. Once Leeds started opening up, I said these are here for the taking, and so it proved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my connection might be a bit dodgy tonight. So if it does lag a bit, I apologize. But hopefully we're good right now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, brilliant first goal. And then second goal, mate. This is where Jota just kind of flipped a switch. And all of a sudden, we'd seen a Jota who couldn't control the ball, couldn't pass a ball, couldn't run without falling over. Like, he was literally Bambi on ice for the first half an hour of the game. And then as soon as he picked up that ball from the midfield, I think he actually won it back. He sprints the length of the half, slots into Mo Salah. Brilliant finish. You could question Melier whether he should probably get a hand to it. But
he should. But
from that point onwards, what we saw from Diogo Jota is the Jota that I saw last season in that run where he was just bagging for fun and just causing havoc. And that finish from Salah, mate, and the assist from Jota, for both of those players, how important was that for confidence?
Yeah, no, you can see as soon as he got his got that passer, because let's be honest, before that, some of his passing was atrocious. Like it was just like, is this guy going out to play football? But then plays that pass at first. I thought it might have been a bit too short for him, but it was right on the money, and literally Salah slotted it away. But the keeper's got to do better, man. Not to be beat at your near post like that. Like, come on, man. But listen, I don't care. It's not my team. Alisson, I don't imagine Alisson would ever get beat like that. And 2-0 up at half time. And it was thoroughly deserved. Even though we hadn't put them to the sword from earlier, it was thoroughly deserved. We'd bossed the games from beginning to end, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Ali says, which is our best front three? We'll get onto that as well. I think that's a good point to make. And second off, mate.
I tore them to shreds.
Well, we did. But first of all, this was the second half, wasn't it? Their goal. Konate's mistake.
I think it was someone's birthday.
Yeah, I think with Konate, and I said this on Grizzly's channel last night straight after the game. I think defensively, you don't doubt him. When he's in a foot race with another player, you don't doubt him. When he's got to make a last tackle, you don't doubt him. But I think where I've seen a couple of mistakes in his game is when he has had too much time on the ball, when it's almost too easy, like, the game's absolutely
loses
fine.
Concentration.
And he just kind of stabs his foot into the ground, and it gives them a goal. And look, it's a great finish from Sinistera. I thought it was brilliant the way he finished that.
It was a really good finish.
We should have got the clean sheet yesterday, shouldn't we, mate?
Yeah, that was the only negative point. And to be honest with you as well, with Konate, even though he made the mistake, you saw on Twitter, not really many people got on him because that guy's been a beast for us for most of the season. So luckily, it wasn't an error that cost us dearly. If anything, I think it just spurred us on. Yeah. So, like I said, these things happen. It just needs to be a little bit more. The concentration needs to be a little bit more when the game's kind of at a lull. But that will come. How old is he? 21, 22?
I think he's 22.
Yeah, that will come.
He's
still young, man. So I like I said, the mistake wasn't detrimental to the game. So we move on. You can see it. You know what? One thing I was happy about, that even though when they scored, you can see he was annoyed, but he didn't let it affect the rest of his game. He didn't like, if that had been Matip, it would have gone downhill. But from here, he just brushed it aside and carried on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was pleased with that, to be fair, because I'm not going to lie, 2-1, I thought, oh no, we know how this ends up now. We've given them a chance back in the game. The crowd's up for it. Ellen Road is not a nice place to go. So I was fearing for the worst, to be fair. I thought, that's it. We shot ourselves in the foot. But we can't, the reaction was brilliant. And I think that was the key to this game. We'd seen glimpses of our old Liverpool, and we'll get on to Klopp in a bit as well. But
oh yeah, I know you're gonna
there was
talk
a
about
moment
it.
in the second
Oh my
half,
god.
mate, 92nd minute where we was pressing for the ball, and he was just
Yeah.
doing all
Oh
sorts
my
of
god.
madness.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and I think that for me is, I said it before, and this is, look, people have said like there's no point in these last 8 games because top four's gone. That's fine. You might think that.
There's still a
For
point.
me, I wanna see the old Liverpool come back in these last 8 games. I want us to go out there, show how we want to start up for the next season. If we've got new ideas like Trent coming into midfield on the ball, implement them now where the season might be dead. I want to see what happens. But at the end of the day, if you don't think there's anything to play for and you've given up on the Reds, and don't watch. Simple as. If that's how you feel, don't waste your time. But that's a different story. That's a different avenue. Our third goal, mate, this was a lovely goal. And I was so happy for this one because, like we alluded to, and this is where we will talk about Curtis Jones. He needed that, didn't he? Yesterday. He absolutely 100% needed that.
Yeah, bro. And the thing about it was that wasn't the easier pass. There was an easier pass on for him. Because when he played it, I was like, oh, Curtis, oh, okay. And then just slotted it away. And I was just like, oh, who knew? One thing I will say is this, yeah. When I criticize players, I criticize them. But when they do something well, I will give them their praise as well. And for me, in that game, he seemed to be releasing the ball a little bit quicker. His decision making seemed to be a little bit better. And it just seems like the more games he gets, hopefully he starts again in the game against Nottingham Forest, because we owe them as well. I hope we give them a good Rodgering when we play them as well, because we owe them. But yeah, he just seemed to be able to I don't know, his not his natural game. He wasn't trying to just play by the numbers. He was trying to do stuff, and it weren't out of place. So listen, that's the Curtis we need to see on a regular basis. If that Curtis is playing on a weekly basis and he's knocking the door saying, boss, I want to play, the boss has to answer him and put him in. But I don't want to see these passenger kind of performances that he's put in before just because he doesn't want to. He's playing it safe. I get playing it safe and getting your legs under you, but at some point, safe is not going to get you goals or assists. That ball that he played to Jota wasn't a safe ball. It was a bit of a, let me try something, and it worked. Don't get me wrong. It's not every time that you try something it's going to work, but at least people will appreciate. Oh, you can see what they're trying to do, or you can see what he's trying to bring, and that's all what I want most people. And it looked like as well, because I've criticized him saying that he doesn't know what type of midfielder he is, and here he looked like he was in the AMF. He looked like that. So long may it continue. Yeah. Listen, big up to him, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I always thought with Curtis Jones, like, I've never really had an issue with people that think he's not good enough because, look, like I say, I don't think our opinions will change. Is he good enough to start week in, week out for Liverpool? No, not yet, at least.
No,
so,
not yet.
For me, right, I've always said there's a space in our squad for him as a squad player because if you've got a squad of players of 23 or however many it is, not all of them need to be world class. You need some players there that aren't at that stage yet that are coming through. And look, I know he's 22 and he's been around for a long time. And some people say he's not progressed and all of that. But for me, he just needs to come in and every now and again do a job and keep the big guys on their toes. And I think that's what he's done in the last couple of games. I think the way he played yesterday.
Do you watch the NBA?
I don't, mate. No.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because it's the playoffs now, so this is the games where you best of 7 basically. And what Curtis Jones is a bench player that can come off, like they say that you have to have 2 or 3 bench players that can come off the bench and give you like 10 to 15 points. And what that is, it just helps the other superstars in the team be able to. So when they're having a lull in how they're playing, those bench players come in and kind of fill the gaps. That's what we need Curtis Jones to be like. Okay, right. If a player's injured or not on form, you can come in, get up to speed in 1 to 2 games, and be that linchpin so that when they come back, they're fighting you in training to get their place back. That's what it's got to be. Now, I know it's easier said than done because obviously you have to be patient, but that's what we need for him because as it stands at the moment, for the manager doing his thing. So that's again, I know it's easier said than done. When you're not playing, it's hard to be in that mental space to be up for it. But this is what elite professionals do. And if you want to get to that point where you're a first teamer every week, you need to be putting in performances when your manager calls on you, so that he has a headache for when he chooses his team.
Yeah, of course. And look, the goal was brilliant. The pass was exceptional. It was probably the best thing he's done in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think he played with confidence yesterday. He showed exactly what he can bring to the table. And I think it's important that, when he does play, he keeps that up, because these guys that have been hating him for so long on social media, they'll just wait for the next opportunity where he doesn't perform well, and they'll get on at him. So I think for him, he just needs to kind of block that out, because he's not stupid. He'll know that there's some idiots out there that do say these things about him. And again, I must emphasize, I'm no way, shape, or form saying that he's a top player. I'm no way saying that our plans have changed for the summer. What I am saying is there is space for him in the squad, especially if next season we want to go on a cup run again. You need players like him in that. And I've not even spoken about the finish yet from Jota, and he'd already got his assist a bit earlier on. So for him,
that wasn't his best goal, though.
No, it wasn't. And I watched the interview of him, to be fair, before the game. He was talking to Sky Sports, and he was saying, of course, when you're an attacker and, you're on a goal drought like the one he was on, I think it was plus 30 games, it is in the back of your mind, and you do think about it, and you do wonder when the next one's going to come. So when those chances come, you have to take them, and that's exactly what he just
said. London buses.
Yeah, so listen, Jota, he's struggled, in my opinion, since his injuries. But let's hope now that that's the start of a new corner for him, and he's going to be important in these last 8 games for us. Because his 2 goals were brilliant yesterday. Let's go to goal number 4, mate. This was when we talk about vintage Liverpool, Shigz. This counter-attack from our own box. I think it was Jota that did a very risky challenge, first of all, because he could have easily given away a pen. Wins the ball back, does some mad 1-2s with Robertson. Can't remember who else gets involved, but we just played the ball all the way up to the left wing. Robertson smacks one back to Gakpo, who takes 2 touches, smashes it into Salah.
Listen, no, hold on. I don't think people realize how good those 2 touches from Gakpo were. I've seen strikers get that ball and lose control of the ball. So for him to kill the ball and then I'm never taking shots at Haaland. But for him to control the ball and then wait for the defenders to come in, I think he nutmegged the defender as well instead of slotting it away. Lovely. Like, listen, Cody Gakpo as well has gone under the radio. People are calling him Whackpo and all that. Do you remember I said it to you? That guy is quality. Just give him time. And he's showing it.
Oh, he was brilliant yesterday. He was absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of people were getting on to the management team, Pep Lingers, because apparently he was an advocate for the signing. And we all know we probably should have signed a centre mid in the January window. We all agree with that. But that doesn't mean that the Gakpo signing was useless and a waste of money, because we needed both. We needed a forward to come in for when Firmino goes, and we need a centre mid. So ideally, we could have signed both. But I think I said this again yesterday on the stream, the importance of Gakpo coming in to play this position, because we all know now that's the position that we want him to play, through the middle. I know everyone thought he was a left winger when he came in, but Klopp wants to play him as that 9, as that Bobby Firmino type of figure. And that's what he played like yesterday. And I think having him at the club for 7 months or 6 months at the time he came in, up until the end of the season, with Bobby Firmino there, the master of that role, who's been absolutely out of this world since he came from Hoffenheim. That's only going to be good for Gakpo, because I do remember reading that he's often in conversations with Firmino, asking him, how do you do this? What do you do in this situation? What do we do there? And this is only going to be a positive, that he's literally learning from Firmino's guidance to play that role. And I think, like you say, mate, he was heavily criticised wrongly when he first came in. I think they were doing that whole 007 thing that they failed on.
Ridiculous.
On the 7th game.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and look, new players just need time. And you could see the skill set that he brings to the table. Like you said, mate, his first touch is always immaculate. His vision, his passing, his work rate. All these things. He's massive as well. Like, he's quite tall, but he's got very good feet, a very good technical ability. So you combine those 2 things, and you've got a brilliant attacker. And yeah, I second what you said, mate. The 2 touches and the pass to Salah, then the 2 touches from Salah, the touch to control it, and then the touch to finish it. And Shigz, me and you have been Salah's biggest critic this season. We have, but we have to look at the numbers, and numbers don't lie, Shigz. He's on course to get 30 goals again this season on a bad season.
Yeah, he can't really. Even though we've gotten him just because we expect so much from him, he's still been quality. You can't even hate on that. You can't. He's our talisman. Even if people don't want to believe he is. And I've got to say, like you said, I haven't been his biggest fan this season in part. But listen, excuse me. Some of the games that he has turned up in. We just need more people around him so that
consistency. That's
what we need. But like I said, the one thing I will say though is I don't take too, even though we scored 6 and it was a good performance. It's Leeds.
No, I'm not listening. I'm not listening, bro.
It's Leeds, bro.
Nah, they beat us at home, mate. What do you mean?
Crystal Palace gave them 5 as well, bro. Like,
yeah, but listen, mate. This shows how bad we must have been at that time when they beat us at Anfield.
Yeah, no, we weren't at our best, and this is retribution. Like I like it, but what I want, and in the bigger scheme of things, and I think it actually did stem from the Arsenal game, is that when these guys really do apply themselves and take the manager's tactics on board, we are still formidable. I think it's only Leeds that beat us at home this season so far. Is that right?
The Leeds
that have beaten us. No, I know we drew with Brighton and stuff like that, but I can only think of Leeds are the only team that beat us at Anfield.
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think you might be right.
So that just shows that
I agree with Ali. Stop this now, Sheik.
Listen, I just don't want to get ahead of myself.
No, listen, I know what you're saying, but for me,
but it's go on, sorry, go on.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's. I'm glad that we're doing these things now, but let's keep the momentum going now and give Nottingham Forest another 5. Let's or at least beat them soundly. Beat them and this, because I'm not sure our last 7 or 8 games. Who are they in the lower top? Are they? I think I know we've got to play Tottenham still.
On paper, it is favourable, but you just don't know with this season.
I'm not even talking about top 4.
I know that. But what I'm saying is the fixtures on paper look like we could go on a run, but you wouldn't put that. It's not impossible to think of Brentford beating us like that. Could happen.
True.
So and Fulham as well. Like they're good this season. Ali says Salah has more goals and assists than Saka this season. Listen, mate, Saka never was, never has, or never will be better than Mo Salah. I don't know where this thing came from. I don't know why. Nah, Shigz, I know you're thinking about it. He never will be.
I'm not thinking. What I will say is,
and Saka doesn't turn up in big games either, and that is a fact.
No, but he's. This is one thing I don't like. Yeah, and
he's got nothing against the top 6.
No. That's fair enough. But what my point is, like, Saka is 21. Like, I don't understand why people.
This is Arsenal's fault. This is Arsenal.
Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm just saying.
We wouldn't even be sat here discussing this if it wasn't for them opening their mouth.
Yeah, it's not. They know. I think they've blown it out of proportion. The only reason I bring it up because I saw some stuff over the weekend that I weren't happy about, like in terms of forget that he plays for Arsenal. I don't care that. That's
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like and he's a young. How old is he? 21.
He's fantastic. Yeah,
I don't understand that. People might compare him to Salah, but they shouldn't really do that because Salah is a seasoned vet. This guy has only been a seasoned veteran, a professional player for the last 3 or 4 years. There's no way you can compare him now. When he gets to Salah's age, then you can start. But now he's just a really good young player, man. And I just don't like the fact of that. And I know I'll stop after this. But when I saw that, I immediately knew as soon as he missed that penalty,
you knew what was
he's going to get a backlash from idiots on social media. That's all I'm saying. That in terms of
I agree with you. I know what you're on about. And in the World Cup is what was it? No, the Euros when he missed the one. It was
World Cup.
against Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him, Rashford, and Sancho that all missed pens.
Yeah.
My immediate thought was what you're saying now. These three lads, they're gonna go on the socials, and you know what's coming. So yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. Let's talk about the fifth goal, Shigz, the penultimate goal.
Hey.
Jordan Henderson running it back to his Sunderland days, playing right wing, smacking the ball across to Diogo. I thought, and I know
Smack.
you said that his first goal wasn't his best goal. I thought this second goal was a missed kick, to be fair.
I don't care, bro. You know, the fact that it smacked in off the post and made it even sweeter. Boom.
Yeah, it was a great finish, but yeah, I don't know how much of that, is a great strike or how much
If
of
you
it.
don't
We don't
shoot,
care.
you don't score.
Exactly. But listen, we won't touch too much on this, but what do you make of that position from Henderson, mate, in possession, drifting over to the right-hand side?
I'm just gonna say this: next season he's taking Milner as well, because I don't think I don't know what it is, but I know he's a captain and everything, but I just think other midfielders can do more than what he can do, and he's a bit limited. So for me, good, well done on getting the assist. Gone.
When you see Henderson play that role when we are in possession in this new kind of setup that we're going with, can you see now why we want Mason Mount? And look, we've got to forget about the agendas and everything that's been said about Mason Mount. We've got to think logically about this, Shigz. He's a player that likes to go out wide. He's a player that likes to attack. If you look at how we set up yesterday and you swap Jordan Henderson for Mason Mount, you can easily see where he could fit into that system.
All right. Well, let's see what happens.
I'm not here saying, look, again, I need to make it clear because people think that, I just like any player that's linked with us. I don't want us to sign Mason Mount. I'd much rather sign somebody better than Mason Mount.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. If he's the one that
I can see where he would fit in. I can see.
Yeah. Maybe if I take my bias away, I'm just, you know what it is. Over the last 3 or 4 months, the way I've seen him play for Chelsea, it's just like we've got Henderson. Why would we want to get? But a change of scenery might make things different. So let's see how it plays out. But
we'll see what happens, mate. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But I think the thing is as well, like that I would say to people is if we do sign him or if we do sign players that you don't agree with, we just have to just forget what's happened at other clubs and just hope that it works for us. And I know a lot of
people can say that Ronaldo got relegated.
Exactly. But let's get on to the last goal, mate. And this was my favorite goal. So I'm going to take this one, mate. Not even just Darwin. That was just the icing on the cake, really.
The ball.
This man, Trent Alexander-Arnold, the man, I'm just going to put his whole thing on the screen. How do I do it? Here we go. A man that, look at this, 5.9 against Man City, 6.3 against Madrid, and then he got a few sevens, to be fair, 6.8, 6.3. You look at his last two games, and what is the secret behind that? He's playing in a position, in a role where it brings out his strengths. And he is allowed to create. He is allowed to just go forward. He is allowed to be more, free. And I think I wasn't for this whole Trent drifting into midfield thing, because I'm not going to say he's a midfielder now because he still plays right back when we defend. But when we have the ball, when we're in transition, and Trent goes into the middle, man, it's a cheat code. We saw it against Arsenal, and I was sat here saying like how good it was then. But yesterday he took it to a whole new level. And the first assist was brilliant, but the second assist to Darwin Núñez, I said to my brother, that's like Stevie to Torres. And I know that's a bold statement to make, but that ball reminded me of one that Gerrard played to Torres. And then the touch from Darwin Núñez with his chest, the finish with his weak foot, it's just beautiful to see because, again, two players that have been heavily criticised this season, two players that I love, Trent more so than Darwin. Darwin's still got a long way to go, but Trent is one of my favourite players. I've backed him, Shigz, when we've debated him this season. I've had to admit in times when he's been poor, but I have always said to him, look, to be fair, when Liverpool are thriving, when Trent's back at his best, we'll see what happens. And yesterday, Trent was at his absolute best. Liverpool were at their best.
So.
And, they couldn't stop him. And again, people will turn around and say it's only Leeds, but he was unreal in centre mid against Arsenal as well. So what are we going to say then?
Credit
Only
where
Arsenal?
credit is due.
Exactly. So my question to you now, Shigz, is what's your thoughts on Trent going into that role when we have the ball? And do you think that this is something that we're going to be working on for next season?
I think so. Because I think I think when he plays at right back in terms of the traditional up and down the line, people know there's not really much. There's only so much you can do from the right wing in terms of whipping a ball in or playing a short ball in. But when he because you saw it as soon like 2 minutes into the game, and literally immediately he just drifted into the middle. And as soon as it creates an extra midfielder, and two, you see the range of passing, the short passes, 1-2s, the diagonal balls, the balls over the top. There was a couple of times he tried to play a ball over the top, but it was just that the defenders were it wasn't as disguised as it needed to be. And even in the Arsenal game, where you say is a high caliber of team, again, he played the ball into Darwin where we could have won the game. Great balling. So it's encouraging to see. Like a lot of people are now saying, yeah, I told you from time Trent should have played in midfield. No, well, okay, great, but now the conundrum comes. It starts with, okay, would you? And I'll ask you this, Ben. Would you then put Trent in midfield and then buy another right back, or would you still keep him at right back and then tell him to invert into the midfield? How would you play it?
Yeah, I don't think the system and the setup we've gone with in the last couple of days, I don't think it necessarily means we need a new right back. Because like I say, off the ball, he is coming back into right back. You know, that transition is still there. I think if you start him in centre mid and you completely abandon him at right back, then yeah, of course we need to start him on. But for now, look, we don't know if Klopp's going to do this every game or if he's just going to pick and choose when to do it.
I hope it's against the low block teams that we do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so those teams where they're just going to park the bus and put everyone behind the ball. They're probably the ones that will happen against the most. But it will be interesting for the next 8 games to see if we keep doing this, and I think that will give us a better indication of if we're going to do it next season or not. But look, I'm not going to say Trent doing this is an answer to our problems. It's not.
Yeah,
it's a potential part of the solution. But nothing can change now. The fact that we need 2 minimum 3 pretty, comfortably midfielders, and we are going to get on to a couple that have been with us over the last few days. But yeah, this changes nothing for me. This just means we've got another option, which is good. So it's a help, and it can't be a bad thing. Trent is showing his versatility, which everybody knew he had anyway. So because this guy came through in the academy as a midfielder. Then all of a sudden, he gets to the first team. We can't really play you in centre mid because we've got this guy, that guy, that guy. You're going to have to play right back. Then all of a sudden, he's got to change his position to something he's never done before. And now all of a sudden, he's got to go back to what he used to do. So it was never a doubt in my mind that he'd be a good centre mid. But what I will say before we go on to the 2 players I want to briefly touch on before we finish is that Trent completed the debate of the best right back over the last few years. Now he's moving it to centre mid, and he's going to complete that as well. So that is all we will say on that. But let's get into some transfers, mate, because this is what the people want. I don't know the answer to this question from Bob. We will try and find out. Oh, it's not that one. I put the wrong one. There it is. Hi, lads. Any idea on the reliability of the output? Saying that Jurriën Timber is house hunting in Liverpool. I did see that. To be fair, I did see it this morning.
I don't know.
I wasn't quite sure, but I've not heard anything, and I don't think we've heard anything so far. So I don't know about that one. But what the 2 players I do want to speak about just briefly, we'll start off with the first one, Ryan Gravenberch of Bayern Munich. Now it appears that we have, and this has been confirmed by Ornstein. This has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. This has been confirmed by all the top journalists that we have met his agents. We have discussed the move. But, Shigz, it looks at the minute that Bayern Munich are unwilling to sell him.
Bayern said, hell no. You ain't getting nowhere because they don't. You don't get anywhere. So the ball's in Bayern's court, but from what I've seen on Twitter and read online and stuff, he ain't going nowhere. They're locked up. But I think it would be a great addition. Rangy, good engine, good range of passing. So, and we need someone with energy because our midfielders slow down a lot. So, I wouldn't be adverse against it. I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, no, I think Gravenberch, the thing is, we have to go with our price at 25 mil. And I don't want to see us go above that. If that's what we're offering and they're rejecting that, just walk away because we need midfielders. And yeah, if Gravenberch comes in on his own anyway, he's already a project player. He's a player that's not really kicked on at Bayern. He's a player that's not really played for the last year. So it's already becoming a project, something we've got to work on. Yeah. I don't want to see us, and I don't think we will get into a bidding match. I remember the whole Thiago fiasco. Bayern wanted this money, then they said they weren't, and then they wanted this money, and it just went on for ages. I don't want to see a repeat of that. I think I said on our last stream, I want our targets to come in those doors on the first day of pre-season, and if they look like they're trying to carry it on for too long, just walk away. Yeah. That's where I stand with Gravenberch. I think he's a good player. I've seen a lot in him from a young age, but he's not, high up on everyone's wish list. I think everyone is saying. So we'll see what happens with that one. The second one, Shigz, complete opposite, is a player that is very high up on my wish list. A player that I have unfortunately seen tear us apart 3 times in the last 2 seasons. It's Alexis McAllister of Brighton. Now, the first time I seen him was last season at Anfield. And then I seen him again this season at Anfield. And then I seen him again this season at the Amex. And every time I play against that guy, I don't know if it's us, I don't know if it's him being an incredible player. He's just, you just can't stop him. And if we signed him for 60 million, Shigz, how would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be disappointed. Like, let's be honest. For me, Brighton have been bar and Arsenal winning the league. Brighton have been the team of the season for me. Like, and it's the reason why I say that is because I can't think of it. I can only think of a handful of games whereby they've been outplayed. Like, not even before, even when Potter was there. Like, the football that they were playing, bro. Lallana, Welbeck, all them, Mitoma, Caicedo. Like, they played good football. Like if a Brighton game is on, I'm not like, oh my god, why are these guys playing? I'll watch the game because I know I'm gonna see chances. I'm gonna like. Even they pay me when they beat us at Amex. They play good football, like, and
yeah, brilliant.
And McAllister is a big part of that. And the thing that makes me surprised is how did they get all the what? Why is their scouting network so good? It's so good.
The biggest thing that I think a top team could do this season is go to Brighton and nick their guys that are finding all these players, because you've got Alexis McAllister, you've got Moises Caicedo. I remember when they sold Bissouma, everyone was like, oh, they're going to lose a lot now.
Yeah.
And then they just bring in Caicedo, and then it's like, he's a million times better than what Bissouma was. So every time they sell a player, and it will happen again, if they sell McAllister this summer, they'll go to the Argentinian league. Yeah, they'll just go and get the next one. And it will be the same process, and they make so much money from it. So, yeah, I mean, fair play to them, to be fair. They've got their players, they train them up, they put a price, and if you want them, you've got to pay the books. And
simple.
I think it's looking, it's looking promising in terms of the links that have come out. Many reliable, outlets have said that we are talking to Brighton, we're talking to McAllister. Apparently, we're going to present our project to him this week or something like that. It is rumored to be 60 million. I don't know if that will go up or not, but
how old is he?
20. Oh, I don't want to get this wrong. Let me check. Actually, he is 24. So that's actually what I was going to say. 60 million for him doesn't seem bad at all.
No, we paid that for Keita.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I wasn't digging. I'm just saying that's. I wasn't digging. I actually wasn't. I'm just saying that's the ballpark figure that we played for that guy.
No, I know what you're saying, and that was like 5 years ago. So if you think about it, the market's inflated, and it's still. That's why I think as well. We have been told that Man United are in the picture. They want him as well. So again, it comes down to if it's a bidding war kind of thing. I think if it does become one of those again, we don't really do that. We'll just step back and go to our next one. But yeah, that's all I have to say, really, mate. I don't know if you've got anything to add ahead of the Forest game, just briefly.
No, just I was on one of the spaces before the game, and I was just saying to people listening, I was just like, look, I just want a calm 2-0. I don't want no drama. I don't want none of this. There was squeaky bum time. Let's just go there, get the points, and go home. And they gave me even more than that. So more the same on Saturday. Is it Saturday we play or Sunday?
Saturday, 3 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. More the same, please. More the same. No drama.
Yeah.
Tuck these men in and send them on their way.
No, absolutely. I agree. Just need the 3 points. I don't care how it comes.
Done.
Yeah, exactly. Just on to the next. Is top 4 gone? Probably. Should we give up? No, we should never give up because exactly. We don't know what's going to happen at Newcastle. We don't know what's going to happen at Tottenham. So let's just keep the momentum. Let's keep going, and we'll see what happens. But guys, gonna wrap it up there. We've got Champions League football to watch. We've got to laugh at Chelsea, who are probably going to be going out tonight to Real Madrid. So take care. Smash the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you.
See you next week. See you on Saturday.